Galileo was an Italian astronomer, mathematician, physicist who produced groundbreaking observations of nature that had far-reaching consequences for the study of physics. Galileo Galilei was born in Pisa, Italy, on February 15, 1564. The family relocated to Florence in 1574, when Galileo began his official education at the Camaldolus Monastery in Vallombrosa. Galileo enrolled at the University of Pisa to study medicine in 1583. He quickly got captivated with several areas, particularly mathematics and physics, due to his enormous intelligence and ambition. Such as smart kid Galileo. Galileo was on his way to becoming a university professor. However, due to financial troubles, Galileo left the institution before completing his degree in 1585. Galileo continued to study mathematics after leaving from university, earning his income with part-time teaching jobs. During this period, Galileo began his research of objects in motion and wrote The Little Balance, which described hydrostatic principles and earned him some renown. In 1589, he was recruited as a professor at the University of Pisa. While working there, Galileo carried out his famed experiments with falling objects and wrote De motu or on motion in English, which deviated from Aristotelian theories on motion and falling objects. Galileo became arrogant about his work. His criticisms of Aristotle isolated him among his colleagues, resulting in his contract with the University of Pisa was not renewed. Then, Galileo immediately found a new job teaching geometry, mechanics, and astronomy at the University of Padua. In July 1609, Galileo heard about a simple telescope that built by Dutch eyeglass makers and soon developed one of his own. Galileo watched the moon with his telescope to study the universe and discovered that the Venus had phases like the moon, proving it rotated around the sun and opposing the Aristotle's geocentric idea. Galileo wrote a letter to a student in 1613 explaining how Copernican theory did not contradict biblical texts, implying that science gave a different, more correct perspective. The letter became public, and Church Inquisition declared heretical toward the Copernican theory. Galileo was commanded in 1616 not to hold, teach, or defend in any way to the Copernican theory. Galileo obeyed with a command for 7 years. However, Galileo was threatened with torture, and he finally accepted that he had supported Copernican theory. He was guilty of heresy and sentenced to house arrest for his life. Galileo wrote 2 new sciences while under house imprisonment, which was published in Holland in 1638. Galileo had gone blind and was in health terrible condition. In time, however, the Church couldn't deny the truth in science. In the 20th century, several popes acknowledged Galileo's remarkable contribution, and Pope John Paul II expressed regret over the Galileo incident in 1992. Galileo died on January 8, 1642, at Arcetri, near Florence, Italy, after suffering from a fever and heart palpitations. Galileo made an important contribution to the knowledge of the universe. He was known as the father of modern science for his contributions to the scientific revolution.